Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, certified nutrition coach, consultant, counselor, call me whatever you'd like. On this episode, I want to address a question I know I've asked myself, maybe you've asked it yourself, and that's why do they have the deck stacked so hard against us in society when it comes to eating properly? We have fast food restaurants at every corner. We have a Starbucks everywhere we look. Literally, you go to the library, there's some kind of Starbucks in there. It's like, wow, they've just like McDonald's has just got to get its arches everywhere we see them. We have so much information too on the opposite end of what we need to consume on a daily basis. It's right for us as far as protein, fat, carbs, calorie count, nutrients, fiber, things like that. We know what we know what we need to put in our bodies, and we have the information available to us online on labels. Yet we're still growing more and more obese, getting more sick, more cancer rates, heart disease. We're seeing it all. Obesity here in the United States is an epidemic. We just had a pandemic here, COVID-19, and you can't hide the fact that the majority of people that were affected by this virus were the obese. Somewhere around 78 to 80% or so that had issues with it were obese people. That is not body shaming. That is strictly a fact, and that is a health fact. That is not an opinion. So moving along from that, why is it so hard? What have we done to ourselves here? Why are we like this? Why do we have so much food, so much abundance, and so ready to go? We're impatient. It's fast. It's got to be fast. It's got to taste amazing. It's got to be affordable. And now we have a surplus of fast food establishments ready to go everywhere we're at. And we've kind of ingrained that into our culture of life. Our work culture. If you're a white collar or even a blue collar worker, think about it. Think about what your day's like. I'll go white collar since I have had experience working in the white collar world. You wake up in the morning. You want to sleep, but you don't have time. So what do? You drive through. Maybe you drive through something like a Starbucks, maybe a Dunkin' Donuts. You can do okay at these places if you're just getting coffee, regular coffee with maybe a little bit of an artificial sweetener or a little light cream, something like that. Not a big deal. Iced, cold brew, regular hot, whatever you want. But they also offer so many more options because nothing can be simple anymore. I don't even know how these people keep it together back there. And you look at the Dunkin' Donuts menu, geez, the options available. I don't even know how they get it all together. It's just, we keep having to add, and we need to cater to the customer. We need to have it our way and customize everything. I get there's dietary needs, but it's getting a bit over the top. So now just to say, you start out your day, you don't have time to make your own coffee. You rush out the door and, maybe you just have just enough time to drive through a Starbucks. You haven't eaten yet and you want your coffee. Depends on the decisions you make. Now, they have a lot of very eye-catching options. Something I looked at today called a mocha cookie crumble frappuccino beverage. This is looks like to be almost like a milkshake of sorts. Now, this is the kind of thing, coffee's one thing. I know a cold brew nitro, go for it. I love those. Those are good. I don't really go to Starbucks. I'm more of a Dunkin' Donuts kind of person myself. I go for their cold brews or their regular coffee as needed. But, and Dunkin' Donuts is no saint either. I know they're just Dunkin' now, but I still call them Dunkin' Donuts. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. They're no saints either with what they have on their menus as well. They're all competing with each other, so they're going to have similar crazy drinks with these calories and sugar. So this mocha cookie crumble frappuccino is a 16 ounce, which I believe is the medium there. The grande is the medium. I still can't get the sizes right. The venti, meaty, medi, moody. I don't know what the hell they're saying to start. I go to Starbucks. I'm like a lost dog. I look at these people. I'm like, just give me a medium coffee. I don't know what the hell any of this other shit means. Just give me the cold brew. So anyways, this thing has 480 calories, 24 grams of fat, 62 carbs, 55 of which are sugar. Now, that's probably more sugar than you need in your whole day, and it is. I know that. and a whopping 6 grams of protein. So right there, so if you're a woman and you're on a 1,600 calorie diet, you're going to suck down about 25% of your day in this drink. And let's just say, hey, you're hungry, right? You go, so hey, let's grab a double smoked bacon, cheddar, and egg sandwich. What do you got there? 500 calories, 28 grams of fat, 42 carbs, and not too bad with 22 grams of protein, but not worth it for all the others. To find something that has a good macro profile, just to kind of jump in really quick to just give you an idea. And remember this, please. When you're looking at fat, carbs, and protein, if protein is the least abundant macronutrient, it's probably not ideal to consume a lot of it. I'm just going to tell you that. Now, with this sandwich, you got, it's 22 protein and it's 42 carbs and 28 fat for 500 calories. So now if you add that in with the big sugar drink, you're just about at 1,000 calories before you've even gotten to the office. So, you get to the office, and if you can stray away from the free Danishes and donuts and muffins that have been brought in by some vendor, then, you make it to lunch. And, what do you get for lunch? Some places only give you 30 minutes. And other places only give you maybe an hour. It's not a lot of time to go sit down and make anything, obviously. If you bring your own lunch, that's the best way to go. If you have that figured out, that's what I have done traditionally and been shamed for, believe it or not. But that's okay. That happens. People are going to look at you weird if you bring your own food sometimes because they're not used to seeing that kind of stuff. So what most people will do is they'll run out to, let's just say, a McDonald's, right? It's kind of just in our, it's just like society accepting that what we do is we drive through and we get what we call a value meal. Now, I don't see any value in this meal whatsoever. You put together something like standard number one. It's basic as it gets at McDonald's, a Big Mac meal, medium-sized, Big Mac, fries, Coke, right there, $5.50 for the Big Mac, $3.20 for the fries, $2.10 calories for the Coke. Ton of sugar, ton of fat, a lot of sodium. 1325 sodium to be accurate with that. This is 65 grams. Now you've already had 55 we'd said at breakfast, and you're over 100 grams of sugar right now. You're just racing towards type 2 diabetes at this point. Now, I'm not trying to be a downer here. I'm just talking truth. If this is something that you do and you're concerned about your health, this is something you want to stop doing immediately. Because this value meal will bring you up to 1,080 calories. That's a lot of calories right there. That's now 2,000 calories between the two drive-thrus you just made, and it's now 1 p.m. And if you're, like I said, if you're a woman with a 1,600 calorie deficit, you're already 400 calories over and likely hitting your maintenance with all garbage food. So that kind of becomes what's accepted. And then you've probably felt it before. Now that you've had that in the morning, and then right by 1:30, 2 o'clock, you start feeling like shit because you've only put essentially poisonous fast food manufactured crap into your body. And here you are blobbing in the office. And on top of all this, if you still are working in an office, I know we're doing a lot more work from home now, which is great. I can give you more opportunity to go take a walk, get up and move a little bit. But man, some of those cubicle death traps over there that people will sit in, geez, what a poisonous environment that is. Feeding yourself with this food and then sitting in front of that screen for 10 hours a day sometimes even, and that's accepted. That's what you're supposed to do. It's truly accepted. We shouldn't be doing this as human beings. We are not designed to sit in front of a screen and eat shit for 9 to 10 hours a day. So you get off work, what do you do next? You're going to get to the gym after all that? I don't think so. If you're eating like that, I don't really think you're probably not really mentally there to be going to a gym at 5:30 with all the other people. You're probably going to go home and I guess eat dinner. And at this point, I'm not sure, that could be anything. It could be something you got at home. Maybe eat pizza or pasta, who knows, whatever you want. But at this point, you're already 2,000 calories in. And if you're going to keep going down the road of this calorie destruction bomb that you're putting yourself through daily, it's going to probably be pretty ugly. And then you go to sleep, you wake up and repeat it again. Or you go to the bar and you start drinking alcohol on top of that, and you start adding that toxin into your body, plus the calories that come along with that. And that's another recipe for disaster. And why? And alcohol, is glamorized too. It's accepted. It's a poison, and I sound lame as shit. And I know you're probably sitting there, man, I'm going to turn this asshole off because he's just sitting here telling me all this fun shit I can't do. You can do it, but it's got to be in moderation if you want to live long, if you want to feel good, if you want to look good, any of that stuff. You keep doing this kind of stuff, it's not going to lead to good things. It doesn't feel like it because you probably feel okay. Potentially some of the time, and you're just not feeling the effects of it. It is just like anything else, just like a diet. When you want to lose weight, it takes time. Eating like shit for a very long time will wreak havoc on your health, and it works that way too. So you just over time, you're doing a little more and more to yourself, but on the opposite way you want to be going. So I know this sounds like I'm lecturing and preaching a little bit here, but really, if you're doing this, I really want you to step outside of what is being shown to you, what is being considered normal. This isn't normal. Nobody bats an eye when I'll tell you a quick story. One time I was working in an office, and I went to the break room at lunch, and I had my own food. And I was putting it in the microwave, waiting for it. And as I was doing that, a coworker, came into the break room, looked at me funny, asked me, "Oh, are you making your weird food again?" And I'm just like, okay, yeah. And as she was doing that, she threw away a bag of greasy McDonald's into the garbage. So my weird food, by the way, was a ground beef, rice, lettuce, salsa, olives, beans, and I believe some Greek yogurt and cheese. So basically a burrito bowl with some hot sauce. That was my weird food. But, it's not that my food was weird. It's that my habit was weird to them, that I came in with my food prepped, ready to go and eat. And that's fine, because you know what? I don't want to look like normal people. I don't want to feel like shit. Like, if it's normal to feel like shit, I don't want to feel like that. And I don't want to eat that food. Nor do I want to spend the money on it, on fast food. It's not even cheap anymore. Now, I'm not perfect. I drove through McDonald's, several months ago. I went. It was late at night. My wife and I were coming back from somewhere, and I went through the drive-thru, and I got a Big Mac meal. I really did. I did it. And it was like over $10. And I'm just like, what happened here? Like, this used to be like $4.99, and now it's like $10 for this shit. It's all falling apart. It was disgusting. Fries were soggy. I didn't even like it. But anyways, that was my last time at McDonald's, and I don't see myself going back, not anytime soon at least. If I'm going to do fast food, I'm going to go more for a Chipotle, maybe a Panera, something along those lines where I feel like I can do a little bit better. Maybe it's a little better, maybe slightly better quality, maybe not. But whatever, I feel better about it if I go. But again, it's few and far between. I really just don't enjoy the place that much, either any of those establishments that are ingrained in our lives that we feel as if they're familiar. That's what happens too. They're all over the place. There's 29,000 McDonald's stores. Shit. My God, it's familiarity. I can't stand that shit. When people go out on vacation and they still eat McDonald's and crap. You're in another state, you're in another country. What the hell are you eating McDonald's for? You can get that at home anywhere. People like familiarity, and that's what they're creating. They're also creating human bliss points. A lot of the food companies are. And that's not just McDonald's and the Burger King and the fast food industry, but that's also just the packaged food industry. Nabisco, Kellogg's, all these places that are doing cereals and cookies and chips and this processed crap that we keep shoveling down our throats and can consistently eat. The reason you can consistently eat that is not a coincidence. It's actually a science-based thing. It's called human bliss points. I read about this in a book called Sugar, Salt, Fat by Michael Moss, New York Times bestseller. Pretty good book. And he went into this whole thing about how there's science and just food labs just trying to figure out these human bliss points. And what that is just trying to find that right target on your taste buds so that you just consistently eat. They don't want to kill you. They just want to keep you coming back for more. And they don't want you to stop eating, because if you keep eating, you keep buying, and they keep getting richer. And that's what's happening. So that's what's designed. They're designing that for you to keep eating. That's why I tell you, they don't even hide the marketing. What's the Pringles slogan? Once you pop, you can't stop. I can eat a whole canister of those Pringles easily. Not a problem. And so can you, I'm sure. And just crazy how they process down the foods, like a bag of potato chips. I got this from Mind Pump. If you ever know, a great podcast that I obviously regurgitate a lot from there because they're excellent. But a whole bag of potato chips has about 5 potatoes in it or so, processed down, made in oil. And if you look at it, the calories are much higher. There's like 0 fat in potatoes, but with potato chips, it goes, the whole bag itself is like 80 grams, plus all the sodium content that goes in there. So it's just salt and fat. That's what they add to everything: sugar, salt, and fat. And that's come the norm. During COVID, I'm seeing people. I was talking to people. They're like sending each other like birthday like cakes and cookies and shit. And I'm just like, what the hell are you guys doing here? Like, we're in a health crisis. We're worried about, we're finding out that people who have health issues, obesity and other health issues that are related to diet, preventable ones too, are the ones that are really succumbing to this thing. And we're going to sit around and pass around desserts and donuts. And I'll tell you this, I hear it all the time, and I was a victim of it myself. I'm sure I put on weight during the COVID thing. That's what everybody kept saying to me, like, hey, I put on weight during COVID, and then COVID came, and I stopped working out, and I started eating like crap, and I sat around, and man, we have to remember, if this ever happens again, which I hope it doesn't in our lifetime, I really don't hope we have to deal with something like this, or an even worse virus than this one. I hope this never happens for us, but when we do, if we get shut down again and we have to sit at home, I would really, really encourage everybody to not fall into the trap of drinking every day, ordering Uber Eats to your house constantly because you can't leave, just being stressed and scared and fear. That's all normal stuff. But man, that really took a toll on everybody. And I was like that for a while too. I mean, me and the family, we were like, all right, well, hey, another day at home. Let's, what do we want today? Let's go to a pizza joint down the street. All right. I let myself do that for a very short time, and I realized, okay, this was cool for about 2 weeks, and now I'm going to start doing something with myself. So it's just kind of been so forced on us, and just so normal to have dessert at the end of a meal. You don't need to eat a whole piece of cake after you just put down appetizers, a burger, and fries. You don't have to have the cake at the end of that. It's just kind of what we do, and we've just grown that way. It really seems like I'm a weird alien psycho person by talking like this, but if you actually think about that, and then of course alcohol has been glamorized and just accepted as this necessary thing to reduce stress and make you feel happy and good. And alcohol destroys lives. All right. It destroys lives. Even if you're, even if you're a casual drinker, it's doing something negative to you. And it's a shame that that's the case. And it's hard because that's the way people have their release from that world that I was just talking about. That whole, I'm going to work every day. I'm eating like shit. I'm going to go to sleep now. Okay, now it's the weekend. Let's get some margaritas in our stomach and let's have some fun. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. And it's not right. It's messed up. But hey, I'm not going to preach. If you enjoy it, keep it up. Be safe with it. Do your best. That's all I can say. So, we pretty much, how do I overcome this? Well, you have to turn off all the opinions around you of all the people that will be threatened by you because you have started to do something well for yourself. What was it? I'll share another couple ones for you here just to show you how hard it could be. I was at the office too, and they had pizza, and I decided to have a couple, a couple slices. I was just in the break room, whatever. And the CEO of the company came by, looked at me, hey, Mike, nice to see you having human food today. Oh, all right, human food, huh? So you mean my chicken salad that I had, or the burrito bowl that I had, and the oatmeal that I had today, that wasn't human food? That was alien food? That wasn't for me? I wasn't supposed to eat that? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. But, I had to smile and kiss ass like a idiot. That's what you just got to do sometimes. So, and I've seen it before. And, you can do this or not, but I brought my own lunch, and they would have a meeting during lunch, and they tell you, we're ordering food for you so you can have a lunch and stay in the meeting. I'm like, that's just what, my lunch break is to actually get away from you people. It's not to sit down and watch you frickin' eat your sandwich. I don't want to do that. But hey, I'm a team player. Can't stand that term. Let's stop using that, team player. I'm done with that one. So I sat in the meeting. I said, fine. I'm not going to be a jackass, and usually I would go for a walk on my lunch, to be honest. But I'll sit inside the meeting. I pretty much had to. I had no choice. So I did have a choice of what I ate, and what they were getting were those crappy Jimmy John's boxed lunches. It was a shitty sandwich with almost no meat on it, a bunch of lettuce with stale bread, a soggy pickle, a bag of chips I didn't want, and a cookie. I mean, what am I, a child? I mean, this is embarrassing. So I said, oh, no, I don't want any. No, thank you. And I did the same thing. I warmed up my bowl of food that I brought myself, and I sat in the meeting, and I was getting looks from people. They were staring at me. They were looking at me funny, like I had a dick growing out of my forehead, and it was pissing on the whole table. That's what they looked at me like, because I brought my own food into the meeting. That's just what you got to deal with sometimes. But you know what? Chomp away, smile back, wave, flick them off. I don't care. So it's just, hey, my body, my choice. That's all you got to say. Just say that. And they can't do anything about it. They don't have to like it. It's a conformist thing, too. You're not eating like the rest of us. Conform. This is the white collar world. Conform to us. Do as we say. Be a team player. No thanks. I'm going to do what I need to do. Okay? So it's okay to ruffle some feathers. Don't worry about what anybody says. Do what you need to do for you. Don't be guilted in by somebody's insecurity to eat like shit because they are and they feel bad about themselves because you decided to level up a little bit and worry about your health. So anyways, Angry Mike today, but we're having a good time. And I would like to say that it can be fun to plan your food and eat foods that you do like. You do have to train your taste buds a bit. If you are eating an excessive amount of fast food and high calorie, savory, salty type of foods and lots of sugars and all that, you may have a little bit of a curve to get over, and sometimes it could take up to 19 tries to develop a taste for something, but it'll happen and it'll start tasting good, and you're going to start feeling the effects both ways of that, and soon you're going to realize, oh, I don't need this packaged garbage from this fast food place. So what to do would be just figure out what you like to eat, plan ahead, prep your food, the same old shit. I'll say over and over again, prep, plan, all that good stuff for the day. Do that. Make it a habit to get to the gym or go for a walk on your lunch break. If you get a long enough lunch break or you have some flexible hours, hit the gym. When I was doing outside sales, I had meetings. I don't care. I went to the gym. I got a membership at a place in my territory. I had a couple locations, and I had a 3-hour gap in between the meetings. I would get in there, change my clothes, work out, take a shower, hit the other meeting. What else am I going to do? Sit at a Starbucks and eat donuts or eat pastries and drink sugar? No, I'm not. I'm going to go to the gym and do what's right for me. And I encourage people to do the same and change those kinds of habits and make that a thing. That's when you know you've made a change, is when you're literally going to the gym on your break and you want to. You don't feel like you have to. If you can't go to the gym, you get upset. You've made a lifestyle change. That's where you got to get. That's a great spot to be. If I get cranky if I don't get to the gym when I need to be there. You have to force me to take rest days, but I do them because they're good for you. So anyways, those are some habits to get into. Get the gym involved, eat right. Eat light in the day if you're kind of moving around. Eat light, high protein in the day, and then maybe you can look forward to a more gluttonous, savory, tasty meal at night for dinner. That's what I like to do. I don't really enjoy food when I'm at the office, and just whatever, it's there. Put value to your food. If they order pizza at the office or at work, wherever you're at, and it's some new pizza place that you have been wanting to try, go ahead, take a few slices. It's new, it's different. You wanted it. You're curious. Have the pizza. But if they roll in with some Domino's or Pizza Hut for the 85th time, pass on that crap. You've had it before. It's just a blasé pizza that just was frozen and thrown through some oven by some pimply-faced teenager not fucking 25, 30 minutes ago. So, just go ahead and put some value to your food. Figure out, do you really want this? Is this really going to be worth it? Think about how you feel when you're done. How many times have you had food and when you're hungry, you said, I want this. I don't care about anything. But I've learned too, if you stop yourself and you think about how you felt when you've had this food before or afterwards, you will take that silence and that little might go off in your head, that little trigger might go off in your head and say, okay, maybe I don't need this. And you just put it away and you just forget about it. And you'll be happier that you didn't do it. So those are some things to do to kind of maneuver through this. It's extensive. I could kind of, really go on and on about how to avoid these things, but, and what to get where. Some places it's just unavoidable. I went to a movie theater and I think the healthiest thing on the menu was a pretzel. Yeah, maybe a hot dog. That's really what it was. But, I just didn't eat. I brought in my own food, beef jerky and a protein bar. It was a nice solid, 38 grams of protein while I was watching a movie. So, do things like that. Break the rules for yourself. You don't have to listen to these people and eat their shit. So, that is exactly where we are and what we need to maneuver through. It's not going anywhere, so we need to do it for ourselves. That'll do it for today. That was just a little bit of a rant episode. I can give 100 pointers, I guess. That really depends on the scenario, on how to eat and get around these types of things and do a little bit better. But we would just be going on and on. So if you would like and ever talk about something like this, if you need help maneuvering through your daily life, which is how you would make a lifestyle change and a very important aspect to nutrition coaching, is dropping me a message, please, at MFS Wellness. That's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. You can email me, mike@mfswellness.com, and I will respond to messages as rapidly as possible. Till we come back with another episode, thanks for listening to me bitch for the last 20-something minutes, and we will see you on the next one.